let's just have a go through a content a little bit about today, and then my RST, please help me to count the time. So first, you will go with me. I will update with you about like all of the global states and also GGT change management things. And Briggy will introduce what we can actually learn from external. Kate will introduce about like what we can actually learn from each other and also what are the effective approaches for now. And then we also have a special guest, which is Tati. So Tati will share about how the past is actually looking like when G just launched. So as you can see, we conclude a lot of topics here because to be very honest, I want to minimize it, but I don't know how because there are a lot. So today will be very intense. So just be ready for that. And I will try to be fast. So let's go with regional states and global updates. First is that, as you can see from the data, this data is from last week. So we still have some entity, India, Sri Lanka, Vietnam. In April and May, you should have some approval needs to be break. And then also for Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Pakistan, Philippines, South Korea, Vietnam here, you also need to have the approval needs to be break. Yeah. So if you are mentioned above, first is that is the data correct for your current context? And also what are your concerns, challenges, and questions right now? Yeah. So you can review the data a little bit and then give us some context or how you are solving that. Because for example, I see Vietnam is doing something amazing for solving the problems of APR actually doing the realization. So you can actually share with us. Yeah, all right. So who wanna go first? Like, is this to answer the question? India, Sri Lanka.
Can I go first? Can
Yeah,
I?
sure.
Okay, so from our side, for the moment, we're still like under negotiating, like to change the date of the realization. That's why like the approvals has not been like broken yet. And yeah, hopefully like the EPs and like, you know, the companies are going to find like, you know, agreement on when they are going to be like, you know, the EPs is going to be realized. So for the moment, the biggest concerns, which is that they're not going to be finding any kind of like common ground, and challenge, it's the same for the challenges. So yeah, that's for us.
Okay, amazing. Thank you for the sharings. And who wants to share the next one? India, Sri Lanka, Vietnam.
I can go Vietnam.
Okay. Hi, Stella.
Hi. Like the same with same with Mamdu. Because like it's we haven't break. We cannot break because the EB is still in our funnel, and that is an agreement between EB and the company. When the situation get better, they will realize. So we will not break these people. Yeah. So at the moment, we have so many people in Vietnam, around 20 people. So we create a short-term project because like currently we have problem if we don't have job, and at the same time we don't have any activity to do customer relationship with our partner for non-teaching opportunity. So we create this track and ask for opportunity from partner. So this EP can work in new partner opportunity, and it become the customer relation activity to maintain the partnership between IZ and the partner. And this project don't charge any fee from partner.
Okay, amazing. Don't charge anything from partner. Okay, so if the situation is mainly about timeline, I hope after today's meeting you can get some more clarity. But if not, so there are just something to want to remind you is that first there are a lot of informations from ICB, and then you can check all of the resources here. And then also ensure that you have filed a case with your ECB, have very strong synergy with your finance about the refund. And then most important thing is about the EP letter of acknowledgement. So if all of the EP in your country, like making sure that they have already signed all of this, because if you don't break now, like I understand there are a lot of reasons behind for you not to break anything, but make sure that you are asking them to sign this letter, so that if there are any cases are happening, then we should be able to protect ourselves and also the rights from EP. Cool. So the second part will be global updates. First of all, so today I will mainly update three things. One is operational timeline. Second one is remote internship and also the recovery plan. So this part, you need to be very careful about all of the things, informations, and note down everything that you want to ask. First is about remote internships. So we do have some entities from APR signing up with this project. And then as you can see, currently we are mostly done the research consolidation, and tomorrow in the global MCP core, Ali will be the one to update what is the final output for now and what will be the way forward, and what is the proper project or value proposition looking like. So you can also check all of the details in this one. And then if you want to start to alignment process, like to design the piloting project, it will probably starting from the next week. So after tomorrow's MCP call, like AI will present about what is the final output. And then entity, you can actually start to register if you want to be the piloting entity. So this will be also the roles that for AI, RO, ICB, and GSD here. So as you can see, like mostly in RO, we will be the one to follow up with entities to apply for piloting. So do expect that maybe like if you have any question or you are thinking that should we pilot for that, you can also communicate with me. Yeah, so that's all for the remote internship part. And second, for the timeline. So this part is a little bit complicated, and also there are a lot of contents, but in summarize, there are three things that you need to consider for putting all the timelines for now. First one is about operation, which is the thing that there are having a lot of discussions for pre-attraction, when to start attraction, and also when should we actually start to do realize, or can we actually start to do realization now. And second part will be the recovery plan. So this recovery plan is downscaled in the last week from the NS department in AI. So your MCP should be already know what are the things that we need to do in the recovery plan. So the role of product insight here will be the stakeholder analysis, which is very similar with the replanning. Like you remember, there are some stakeholder analysis card, customer journey. So these are the things will be concluded in the recovery plan, which means you still need to do a lot of interview. And the second one will be the GEGT change management, which concludes pricing research and LC structures for now. So first, let's go with the operation timeline. So there are key decision factors you need to consider in here when you take into consideration about what will be the final scenario that you are going to focus. So first is finance, like no need to mention, and also contributor and brand. So brand will be actually the from my personally, it's like the most difficult part for us to decide for now, because we will never know, like if there will be a case happens or any crisis happens, how your entity, the brand system, can actually support for all of the PR crisis. And then will be considered next to like stakeholder management and also membership engagement. So this will be the global decision and recommendation. And then I hope most of your MCPs has already communicated this to you. And there are some confusions from the people. Like for example, is this a global decision or we have to follow this? So for this one, I want to just give you a clarification. First, yes, this is a global decision, which means for AI and RO, we will strictly follow this timeline. And then second, is it compulsory for you to follow the timeline 100%? For now, actually, we don't have any right to restrict you to follow this or not. So which means you still have your freedom to choose which scenario that you are going to follow. But the point is that first is that, like for example, all of our strategies or supporting materials will be only following this timeline. So if you are be faster or you are like later, then it will be a little bit hard for us and for you to actually catch up with the timeline and all of the supporting resources, especially in the next 2 months, you are going to have your successors. So it will be very hard for us to manage. And the second will be the IR alignment. So actually why we want to have a standardized timeline is also because we want to ensure the IR alignment is happening on the space. So if you want to go ahead with another timeline, make sure that you actually communicate with your IR. So if you cannot decide now, it's fine, totally fine. Let's just to have a conversation. And then this will be the ideal attraction timeline for you. For ICX, starting from the middle of the May, we should be able to start the re-racing. And the middle of the June, we should start to do the partner attraction. And then for OJX, will be starting from June to do the attraction. So I know for you, like this is a little bit, I'm not so sure how you are feeling about that, but at least for me, I was a little bit shocked when I get this information. But at the same time, I think, yeah, it's also making sense. Like if we keep delaying, then probably when your term finish, your successor starts, and then like you just give all of the things to your successor, and probably it will be more difficult for us to catch up. So right now, like we are not going to push you for a lot of results coming from, but at least we should teach our network and your successors start to implementing the things that they should be able to do. So for the second part, which is the recovery. So the recovery, as you can see, the timeline is a little bit tight, but of course, like entity, you have your own flexibility based on your MCP's planning. And in summarize, there are two things that you need to do, which is quantitative analysis and also qualitative analysis. So the things that you need to do in here is simple, like customer interview, market understanding, and also empathy mapping. So as you can see for here, right, like if you combine this one and with this one, then you will see that the timeline is actually a little bit tight. So which comes another difficult point is our GGT change management, because all of you answer in the Kahoot that we know from this month, like from here, April to June will be the focus for the pricing research, right? So how we can actually manage the pricing research with the customer interview and also the attraction. This is a little bit hard, right? I know. So here I come up like as a regional office, this is our recommendations for you to follow. First of all, in April, we highly suggest you that you put pricing and also external research, which is your recovery plan together, because when you do the pricing research, you also need to design the customer interview questions. So actually these two activities, you can do it together. And then for the another one in the GGT change management, it will be the LC structure. So you need to be able to give recommendation for LC, like start to planning this with your successor now. If you don't have successor, then you just decide for now, but making sure that when your successor comes on May, you should have a conversation with your successor about the recommendation. Otherwise, it will be very hard for him to catch up the concept behind and also why you are recommending this for LCs. And in May, my suggestion is that if you can, the pricing research, your output is good for you to move forward in May, then for ICX, you can like go with your re-racing. But if your pricing research is not finished by May, then my suggestion is that you shouldn't kick off the attraction from May. Because imagine that if you are having a new pricing research output in the end of May or even in the end of June, but you are start to doing the partner attraction in May or June, then it will be very hard for memberships to do the sales, and also probably there will be some reputation crisis among partners. So which means if you really want to drive some certain things, the pricing research, you need to be very strict to the timeline. Otherwise, all of the attraction timeline will be delayed. Yeah, so it's pretty similar with the B2B attraction. The only thing is different is like the pricing research, because B2C, for OGX side, you still have longer time for you to kick off the attraction. But for ICX, the global ideal timeline is that we are like expecting you can start to do the re-racing from May. So these are some decisions that you need to make. Like from my side, I won't really restrict you, like you need to give me output in May or April or June. But it will be highly depends on how you wanna this new pick to start. Cool. So for now, just want to have a recap. Like, do you have any questions regarding this part about whole overall timeline things? Any question? Oh, people.
I have.
Hello, who are you? Hi.
Briggy. Okay, I wanted to know in terms of like network, when it would be the best to like, or like how to tell them best that this change needs to happen. Because I think like the ones that will struggle the most are like people on the local level.
Okay. So for now, right? In April, my suggestion would be you can just bring them overall timeline. Like, so that's why in April it's better for you to focusing on how you want to bring the change and also what is the G and GT change management overall timeline. Because if we check the global timeline, you can see in May we will launch the product academy, and then also all of the details like the basic of internship, like the details of everything will be finalized in May. So in this period, AI is still working on the feedback. So if you are already downscale all of the internship knowledge, it's fine. But just to do expect that probably there will be some sudden change after that. So my suggestion is that for you to working on right now is that give them like presenting like pretty similar things like this. What exactly things you will downscale to them, and then what are the minimums or final deadline they should be able to catch up. But before that, you should be very clear about this one. So when your entity will actually kick off the attraction, because all of your timeline needs to be highly adaptive with this one. Like for example, if you want to start your B2B attraction or attraction from June, then your LC structure adaptation should be already finalized in May, like the end of May. So you will be able to like promote for the new program starting from June. But if you choose, okay, I'm not going to following this global timeline because my entity financial status is good, and also currently our country doesn't really allow us to do any exchange, then if you think about July will be the good time, then make sure that all of the LC structure change management are finishing before July. So it's very important, which is I will also communicate in the next part, how you can actually customize your GGT, like the overall timeline for your entity. Yeah. So I hope it's clear for you.
Okay. Hi, Connie. I have a question.
Yes.
I'm Stella. Okay. It's applied for entire thing you just presented now. It's applied for normal exchange, right? It's not for remote exchange.
Oh yes.
Okay. Because like if we want to start to do remote exchange, we also need to promoting approach partner, do marketing thing. So we also need attraction kind of thing. So it is, yeah.
Yeah, I think I understand. So for this one, I cannot give you any answers for now, because I didn't get the details update about the, like, you know, the further timeline for the remote internship implementation. But I think it will have more updates in global MCP call tomorrow.
Okay, and I have another question. Because I understand about the part of the safety of the EP when they join exchange. But then for previous guideline from AI, we communicate about we will start do exchange in June if the situation get better. So how about we just keep do the previous way, but then if in May thing is not get better, so we will contact with partner to delay the time guideline again. Instead of now we communicate that we will stop do everything, just do in September.
Okay, amazing. So you mean which start to realize from June, right?
Yeah. So but then because like in previous guideline, we also communicate with partner that if in May situation cannot get better, we will delay again.
Okay, amazing.
The message that we talk with partners and
Okay.
APRs.
So for this case, I understand because we also discussed about Vietnam. We know the financial issue about Vietnam, and also we know why you need to start to now. But again, from our side is that like first you need to align with your IR partner. Like once there will be the market, and also once your legality is strong enough to protect our brand, if there is any cases happen, then which actually will be fine. Like, but then the thing is that how you are going to make sure like if there is like we are going to minimize all of the risks that probably will happen in the future. Yeah, but for this one we can have more conversation between you and me, and also your MCP with RD, so we will support for you to make a better decision for the timeline.
Okay, thank Connie.
All right, so because we are running out of time, just want to do a bit recap for this part is that, so we update about the timeline, which concludes all of the things that you need to focus on April, which is operation, recovery plan, GGT, change management. And this is the something that you can think about how you can also going to map out for your entity to make sure that LCs are on the same page with us. And then for if you are going to have any question about this one and you think it's very hard for you to make decision, I also prepare a tool which is on our co-working sheet. So in the next one-to-one with me, please make sure that you are actually bring the decision with your MCPs, so we can actually do the review about is this timeline for you to make sense or what, like, so we can have like a better consultation from your side to us. So it's not just a one-way communication, but also consider your like the real context and also reality. Okay, so I hope you are going to clear, and then if you are still with me, please just type something in the Zoom chat room. Yeah, if you have any question, you can also note it down here, so I will be aware. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Kate. I don't care, listen, God, you,